Hello, hello, everybody, and thank you so much for trying to join us today. And I know we are late. We unfortunately had difficulties trying to get Dr. Wallach's audio connected this morning. So we would be able to see his face, but not be able to ask him questions or hear him because he wasn't able to hear us and we weren't able to hear him. So with, I don't know how much sorrier I can be that you all took time to join us today. And we appreciate you and thank you for doing that. Jonty and I will stick around if you have questions and you want to ask questions. We're more than happy to take questions, and what we can answer, we will answer for you. But we will have Dr. Wallach back next Friday as well. We have somebody on his end that's going to run the technical for him on the other end, and we'll get it all figured out. All right. So I know there's 64 of you that took time to join us today, and we appreciate you and thank you for doing that. So if you have questions, please feel free to put your little hand up. For those of you who don't know how to find the hand, if you click at the bottom of your screen when you're on a computer or on your mobile device, at the bottom of the screen, if you click on the screen, it will come up with participants. Click on that participants, and at the bottom of the participants list, you'll have a little blue hand that you can raise. All right. So first we have, Jonty, did you want to say anything?
I mean, thank you all for being here. My personal apologies. We just didn't quite get the technical aspect correct with Doc this morning. I'm not exactly sure why, but we do have a solution for next week. We're going to be running a different system that's going to be a little bit more foolproof. I'm going to put it that way. And then you can all just call me the fool. We are lucky to have Rebecca here, who is a very experienced health coach, and myself. I'm a somewhat experienced with the sort of longevity business, online marketing, all of that kind of stuff. For those of you that are distributors that would like to pick my brain about anything, I'll sort of chime in later. You go ahead and ask me a text and questions in the chat, and otherwise you're welcome to bring things up as we proceed. I see we do have a question, Rebecca.
Yeah, so Gina wants to know, how do you locate a local distributor? And I will let you know that we really don't have a list of local distributors. As distributors, we don't have any territories.
It's kind of a misnomer in our contemporary age. Rebecca and I meet at conventions. She's in Washington State, and I'm down in Santa Cruz, California. We work with Rebecca. Who are you currently working with in different parts of the world?
So as far as distributors and clients,
yeah.
I have clients that I'm working with and distributors that I'm working with in the United Kingdom, in Bahrain, in Dubai, in Nigeria, of course, all across the United States, Mexico, Canada, all provinces. So I love the fact that we don't have any limitations with that.
So Gina, what I would say is what you want to find is a distributor that you like to work with. You're certainly invited to visit askdoclive.com. You can sign up with us there, or actually that's technically the person above us, Michael Swierling. You could then, work with our team. If you have an existing distributor, as we always say, please reach out to them. But there's the whole concept of a quote unquote local distributor that sort of comes from the era when people would sit down and have a face-to-face meeting with people. These days, so much more tends to happen via the internet, via our various communication technologies. And we do have at askdoclive.com a website that you can go to a store on, and you can find the various different products there. And purchase them without having a distributor kind of walk you through the process. Of course, that is something that there are distributors available to do that, but it's kind of up to you how you'd like to proceed.
All right, Jonty, let's go to these blue hands that are raised so patiently. First one is okay, I muted myself when trying to unmute Bruce. Bruce, go ahead and try unmuting yourself.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I just have a question, about the vaccines. What's your take on that, because they're going to be coming out with these new vaccines that I heard that, they can change your DNA, your genes, and other things like that. And I was wondering if there's any like solutions, or just keep supplementing what you guys, are offering, or what's your take on that?
So my personal take is keeping your immune system is going to be your best defense. Introducing something that's foreign to the body that God did not intend or didn't, what would be the right word? For me, plants are nutrition, plants are food. And taking something that is developed from different means, I don't know that I would do it. I personally will be opting out.
Yeah, but they may be mandatory. Everybody may be forced to take it. You know what I mean? So I was just, like you said, just to be healthy and keep a strong immune system, and that's about all we can do then, I guess, huh?
Strong immune system and go dark. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy type theorist or anything like that. So, and it's, I don't have a good answer for you, Bruce. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's all right. I just, that was my question for Dr. Wallach.
Dr. Wallach.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next week I can ask him.
Next week we'll try again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So next, Kathy. Oh. Kathy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm still learning how to use this. I tried to take myself, so I wasn't, but I posted a question in the.
All right, let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, yeah. Oh, why no cruciferous vegetables like cabbage?
Yeah, I like cabbage, but I don't have it. The doctor said not to eat them if you have a thyroid problem, but I'm wondering how does that affect the rest of, eating them. So.
Right. So, everything has a chemical composition to it, and something in the cruciferous vegetables, the chemical composition does not do well whenever our thyroid is not functioning properly.
Well, my thyroid is fine, except I just wonder, he's not recommending cruciferous vegetables, and I'm just wondering, does that affect us in other ways, not just the thyroid?
Not that I'm aware of. So usually, the limitations on cruciferous vegetables is due to the thyroid not functioning properly and not being able to process.
Well, a long time ago when I was learning about nutrition, I just understood that cabbage, whatever's in cabbage is good for your skin. So I eat it for that reason, especially the purple cabbage I like.
Right. Well, and it's that nice bright color, so you're getting the phytonutrients with that as well. So I know for some people, just lightly steaming vegetables make them easier to digest, and adding some butter on top of it gives it the fats, so that the fat soluble vitamins that are within the vegetables themselves are easily or more easily absorbed.
Okay, steaming them or cooking them well, um, does that take away from their nutritional value?
Drink the juice.
Okay.
And don't overcook them. So lightly steaming.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask you another question if I could take up your time a little bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't. All my life I've had dental problems,
Okay.
and I never understood, why, when the rest of my family was in really good shape. So now I've lost all my teeth have just deteriorated and broken off because I had to go into the hospital for a bit and they gave me antibiotics like heavy duty, and I understand that leads to teeth deteriorating. And I understand about each tooth is alive and it has anyway,
Yeah.
I
So,
had a lot of dental work done in them. And not
right. So the state of our digestive system determines how well our bodies are able to absorb what we are taking in as far as nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
So with the antibiotics, it kills off the good and the bad bacteria that's within our digestive system. And if we don't actively do something to correct the flora of our digestive system, then we're not going to be absorbing the nutrients like we should
Right.
be.
Well, I gave up all the gluten, everything.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
I've done that for quite a long while, but while I was in the hospital, and I did take some probiotics along with it. But
Okay.
they don't know what they're doing in a hospital.
Right. So
I,
with that, get with the person who invited you to this call, or if you have your own account already with Longevity, you
I
want to
do.
do the Healthy Body Digestive Pack. Okay. You're going to get your 90 essential nutrients there, but you're also going to get that extra support for being able to restore your digestive flora.
I think that it's in pretty good working condition because I just eat well. I eat really well, and I do take the nutritional products, but I still, from about 5 or 6 years ago, something happened inside my head, and I guess you can't talk to me about, you can't prescribe for me anything, but, or diagnose my condition, but I'm still,
No, but I do know that there is a major gut-brain link.
okay.
Okay. We have to start really focusing on the gut, and
Okay.
even maybe doing a reset. And with that reset, then it helps clear everything out so that you're not having it.
Is that like not eating for a day or two, or?
But you could do that through fasting. Fasting does help.
Well, because there's
Um,
sometimes I don't feel like eating, and I might as well make that. So, you've got given me a good idea about the digestive stuff.
yeah, you definitely want to work on the digestive tract.
And what's the product for that one? Because I'm getting ready to reorder.
So my favorite
Uh-huh.
is what's called a 20-day flora restoration program. And with that, you've got your Healthy Body Start Pack. You've got a bottle of I-20 or a canister of I-26.
I haven't heard of these, so thank
Okay. You have Digest FX, Nightly Essence. Pharmacist Ben talks about Nightly Essence all the time. That's one of his favorite products. And you also have Ultimate Enzymes. Okay. And if you do a contact us at criticalhealthnews.com, I can actually get you that flora restoration protocol specifically to you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Is this recorded so I could go and listen to it again?
You know, this is going to be recorded, but I don't think that we're going to be posting this one.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, we appreciate everybody that's here. This is the AskDocLive.com
Could I give you,
podcast.
could I give you my email and maybe have you email the list of these
Put it,
products for me?
can you put it in the messaging to me privately,
Okay.
just for your own privacy as well?
I don't care about the privacy. I don't
Okay.
know how to do this still.
Okay, no worries.
All
No
right.
worries.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. So again, I do want to thank everybody for being here, for hanging out with me. My name is Rebecca Dukes Kozac. I am a certified holistic health coach. I am also trained in functional nutrition. And I have an experience of my own that took me from being bedridden to using Dr. Wallach's program to now being full of life with no pain and just loving life. So I love the fact that I'm able to come here and share that with you and help you on your health journeys as well. And I want you to make sure that you get with the person that invited you to this call. If you do not have a distributor, there's a couple of things that you can do, because not only are we just distributors, health coaches, all right? On our call team, we have some amazing health coaches, and you can always give them a call at 855-949-RADIO, and I believe that's 7234. Okay, don't quote me on that, but it's 855-949-RADIO. And I know we have a few of our health coaches here from our call team on the line with us. So if somebody could type that in there, that would be greatly appreciated. So we have somebody that has a person who, 72-year-old female, 180 pounds, 5'2", has had breast cancer, surgery, chemo, radiation 25 years ago. She now has a return of the breast cancer in metastasized stage 4 to the pelvis and mid-spine bone and the mass on the thyroid. She takes doctor medicine for diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid, fibromyalgia, sleep, migraines, vertigo, and we are wondering what the doctor would recommend. She wants to live. Okay, so I personally know the person that is sending this in, and I am going to do a response to her through email. What doctor would definitely recommend is the biggest hammer in the toolbox, and that's going to be the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack. At 180 pounds, she's going to need 2 of those so that she's getting enough nutrition for body weight. And then a 3rd bottle of selenium. So she's taking 2 selenium 3 times per day. Another product that we have that has been very successful in dealing with cancer is called Z-Radical. And Z-Radical comes in 3 different forms. It comes in a concentrate, which for this person, I would highly recommend the concentrate at least 4 ounces per day. So at 4 ounces per day, that would be 4 bottles per month. And again, that's the Z-Radical concentrate. And then also we have a product that's called Ultimate Iodine. Ultimate Iodine gives extra support that helps to nourish the thyroid. And what was, and then Sweeties. So at this weight, she would need a minimum of 2 bottles of Sweeties, and that would be 2 first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then 2 with each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, approximately 10 minutes prior to each meal, to help with the nutrients that are needed for the pancreas to be able to admit the insulin and then process the sugar within the body. Now, when we're looking at the fibromyalgia, Dr. Wallach would definitely be adding in the glucogel, and that would be 15 per day, 5 3 times a day. So that would be 2 bottles of the Ultimate Glucogel capsules and a bottle of the MSM Ultra, 2 bottles, so that she would be taking 2 3 times a day of the MSM Ultra. From experience in dealing with blood sugar issues, fibromyalgia, sleep, migraines, and vertigo, I haven't had the experience with the cancer personally, but those things should help with the sleep, the migraines, and the vertigo as well. Now, for sleep, do not have the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. If you have trouble sleeping, don't take it past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It does have vitamins, B vitamins in there that are stimulating, that can prevent people from being able to have a restful sleep because everything is just ready to go. So again, no Beyond Tangy Tangerine past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can take the OsteoFX just before bedtime. So OsteoFX has calcium and magnesium in it. One of them is, especially the magnesium, helps to relax the muscles, which actually helps to relax the body and the brain as well. All right. Again, thank you so much for joining us on AskDocLive.com. We do apologize that Dr. Wallach is not here with us. We were having some technical difficulties and we were not able to get his audio connected for some reason today. But we will be working on that with somebody on technical end on his end so that we will be up and ready and he will be here with us next Friday, same time, same place. Again, go to AskDocLive.com if you do not have somebody that you are working with to get your products, get your questions answered. If you do have somebody, then please get with the person that invited you to this call or respond to the email that you received that gave you the information for this call. But we highly recommend that you create that relationship, that bond with your distributor, because they are a wealth of knowledge and a great resource for you. So next, let's go to a hand that's raised. Tom, go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead, Tom, you're unmuted. Well, on my end, you show to be unmuted, but I can't hear you. All right, so there are a ton of questions here. Hold on, let's go through and see who is next. Okay, so Bruce, here's some information for you from Betsy that says there is actually an international law that permits you to refuse any medical treatment or vaccine. You cannot be forced to take the new experimental drug. And if you are older, it is an excellent excuse to opt out. So Betsy, thank you so much for that. I knew that there was something in place, but I didn't have the specifics to be able to really share. So I appreciate that you shared that. All right, let me try to move this down here. Okay, so again, with sweeties, you want to have 1 bottle per 100 pounds. And sometimes it also depends on, of course, one, what your diet is. Do you still have those bad foods in there, especially things that convert to sugar, like carbohydrates, sugar, honey? Those things they have a high glycemic index, so they're going to affect your blood sugar. Removing those from your diet is going to be one of your best options if you have blood sugar concerns. But adding the sweeties in there so that you take at least 1 first thing in the morning per 100 pounds. So if you're 300 pounds, you want to be taking 3 first thing in the morning and then 3 before each meal. Okay, so you'll be getting a minimum of 4 up to 12 per day with the sweeties. So somebody is trying to stop the progression and reverse losing skin pigmentation, called vitiligo, diagnosed by a dermatologist. What I recommend is definitely going to be doing the gut protocol and then making sure that you're getting the 90 essential nutrients. What is included in the brain and heart pack that's going to give you the extra omegas that are needed, that helps to support healthy skin as well. And then there's another product that is called Hair, Skin, and Nails that Dr. Wallach would recommend. Going beyond that, I don't have his protocol up in front of me to give you the exact everything that would be part of his protocol, but I know that the Healthy Body, Brain, and Joint Pack is going to be the first thing that he would recommend. Okay, and removing all of the bad foods. Definitely want to remove all the bad foods. So I'm glad that you've got the no wheat in the diet already. And as far as egg protein being a culprit, I wouldn't go there. I mean, especially if you're using an organic, free range eggs in your diet, those are some of the best that you can get. I'm surprised you haven't heard my roosters crowing today. But if they're in a caged environment and they're not getting the nutrients just from being able to scavenge around, and they're not getting a good food source, then the eggs will not have the nutrition that you need. So I definitely recommend not going and buying just the cheap eggs. Okay, so Donna, that is a good point. Unfortunately, for those who are on Medicare, if you refuse the vaccine, they list it in your chart. If you become ill later on, then they could refuse you because you did not take their precautions. But let's have faith that when we take and support our bodies the way they're supposed to be supported, and that's through using plants as medicine, and making sure that we're getting all of the nutrition that our bodies need, we're not going to get sick. I mean, it happens. It absolutely happens. There's a lot of toxins in the environment, but being our first defense with making sure that we eliminate as many toxins as possible from our foods and also our environments. Cleaners within our home have some of the most toxins. So even though they kill everything, they kill the good stuff too. So I highly recommend a product line called Nature Direct. It is a natural product line of cleaners. We have and raise Rottweilers, and if it wasn't for their carpet and upholstery cleaner, my house would be a total wreck. So I highly recommend the Nature Direct cleaners from our product line as being a non-toxic way to clean your home and keep your environment non-toxic. Okay, so here we have a gentleman that's been a customer or affiliate since 2014. He places a good size order of the ProLine products per month. He's lost 65 pounds and almost ready to start recruiting. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. He's got a way that he's already able to collect unique visitors per day. That's awesome. So I'd love to hear about that. If you go to criticalhealthnews.com, do contact us and share with us what you're doing. That would be awesome. And Jaunty is an amazing resource for those of you who are distributors and you're wanting to use the internet as part of your marketing plan. Jaunty has some amazing ideas. So again, criticalhealthnews.com or even askdoclive.com and do the contact us and ask to get information from Jaunty. He will get that message. Next question. My goodness, I'm so behind. So again, for those of you who were not here whenever we first started or heard my last announcement, we were having problems getting Dr. Wallach on with his audio. We could see him, but he couldn't hear us. We couldn't hear him. So it was kind of futile to use 2 hours of his time where he wouldn't be able to communicate with us or him with them. Us with him or him with us. So, yeah. Oh, so we have somebody with their hand up. Galaxy A20. Mary Carmichael, go ahead. And it looks like your audio is not connected. So whenever if you don't see the little microphone at the bottom, or even if you do, tap on your screen. This is with a mobile device. Tap on your screen and tap on that little microphone. You'll have a little pop-up that comes up that says use device audio or connect with internet. You'll want to select that so that your audio gets connected as well. Okay, let's see, let me go through here. All right, so Corey is reporting that he has doc's books, no gray hair, and copper levels are good. That's wonderful. And Jonty's computer system crashed. So this is a wonderful day for technology, isn't it? I just got that message from him. All right, so a lot of you can go through and you can see some of the comments that are in the chat. Well, let me go see. No, it looks like Jonty was back for a little bit and now he's off. So thank you so much, Donna. Is it 800? I'm pretty sure it's 855-949 radio. Right. And that is our call team that is standing by waiting for your calls. They are a bunch of helpful people with lots of experience, lots of knowledge, ready to help you there. So yeah, in Dr. Wallach's books, he talks about fibromyalgia in animals called white muscle disease and stiff lamb disease. And in my area, I'm in a very large farming ranch area, and they put out special salt blocks I think it's all year long. I know I see more of them. They all have a certain color, but we see more of the special salt blocks that include extra selenium, especially when they're getting ready to start breeding, and then through the whole process, the gestational process, and after. So, oh, and it looks like Norm was waving at the camera. So Norm, I'm sorry, I did not see that you were waving at the camera. If you have a question, let me see if I can pull you up here and you can go ahead and ask that. I have requested that you unmute yourself. So as soon as you unmute yourself, okay. Go ahead, Norm.
Hey, oh, wonderful. Hey, I have several problems. I have diabetes. I'm probably at the right weight. I'm 6 foot. Well, I know that's for the doctor and everything. General questions then. I think you've already answered the thing about the sweeties. I could never get the right information on the sweeties. I guess it's per 100 pounds of body weight.
Right. So it works out to be about 1 bottle per 100 pounds.
Okay. Okay, I got the sweeties right. So I'm working with one of the people from the 800 number, and she's been real good. So I'm waiting on a bunch of stuff. But the main thing that's happened, I've had macular degeneration, and my right eye is finally starting to crash, and I've got a big blind spot in it. It's worse than a blind spot because it sits there and sort of radiates, like a little section in it that's jagged. It just sits there, and like a migraine or something. It just sits there and pulsates. But I used to get migraines, and this one I had like 4 days in a row. I never had it that long. And when my weird visual sensations went away, I was left with this thing in my right eye. And so I'm working with one of the professionals to try to get a protocol to get the macular degeneration corrected.
Wonderful.
Now, I do have the Z radical. Now, am I supposed to take on a protocol to do that? I know I'm working with this other lady, but I haven't got all the stuff yet. But I'd already tried to correct the macular degeneration because I listened to Dr. Wallach on one of his shows on Coast to Coast. So over the years, I'm finally getting a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there, because I could never get a hold of anybody. Or when I did call many years ago to the 800 number, you know, everybody always qualifies their thing by saying, well, we're not, professional. We have these disclaimers.
Yeah,
And
the federal law requires those disclaimers. So.
I know, but I could never get the right information. So I think as the years have gone along, people become more professional. They've ran across more people to help, and I'm slowly getting the information. Anyway, on the Z radical, am I supposed to take 2 ounces of that in the morning and 2 ounces at night, along with the other stuff?
Yeah, so with Z radical, if you've got something active going on, especially something that is inflammation related, it would be 1 ounce per half or per 50 pounds.
Oh.
And sometimes we do 1 ounce per 25 pounds per day, and you split that up, so morning and evening, so that you get what's in the Z radical in the morning, and then again later in the day. Now, with macular degeneration, ask the person that you are working with to help you with some essential oils. Okay.
Well, they did. I think I wrote it down here, something about essential oils. Now.
And what you would do is you would just take the essential oils and this bone that's just below. You can get a roller bottle. Longevity has roller bottles with some of these ingredients already set, diluted, ready to go, and it's just a single swipe. It's not all over, it's just a single swipe.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So some of the essential oils that are designed or that have been found to be beneficial for eyes, especially the macular degeneration, you're looking at frankincense, fir balsam, black spruce, fennel, rosemary, pinyon pine, and then Longevity has a couple blends, one of them being all heart.
Now what will that do? Go through the skin into the eye?
Yeah, so, well, what it does is these are, so the essential oils, it's an essence that's pulled out of the plant, okay?
Right.
The chemical constitutes of them work differently with the body. And you, for some reason, and in fact, I have an eye issue, I use them as well. And I can feel that issue come on, and it's like sandpaper every time I blink my eye. Since being on the Longevity products, it's only happened twice, which is wonderful. But I can take the frankincense and just go across this bone here a couple times a day, and it never goes into a full-blown attack.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's pretty incredible.
As far as a migraine, you mean?
No, so it's actually called Herpetic Ocular Keratitis. So it's like shingles in the eye. Let's just put it that way. And it hurts really bad. But like I said, I can start feeling it come on. I'll put some of the essential oil there, and it never goes into a full-blown attack.
Okay. All righty.
So that's a little different than the macular degeneration. But with my resource here, the essential oils that I read off are specific to macular degeneration.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And a question about my wife with asthma.
Yes.
What would you recommend asthmatics to take in order to?
Definitely has to get rid of all the gluten. All the gluten, all the bottled oils.
I've been pleading with her for that for a long time.
Yeah, definitely have to do that. And then it's going to be the Healthy Body, Brain, and Joint Pack.
Yes, well, of
2
course.
body weight.
I've got both of us. What I've just ordered this week. We're both going to get onto the longevity stuff, and
Excellent.
and then get rid of as much bad stuff as we can that we can at least determine is bad.
Right. And then Dr. Wallach also recommends the healthy, so it's called the Oxybody Cherry Berry. Oxybody Cherry Berry. And that's going to be an ounce per 50 pounds.
1 ounce,
per day.
Per 50 pounds.
Yep.
Per day. Okay, all right.
And then depending on what is the cause of her asthma, a lot of times asthma can be brought on by different allergies. We have a product.
Hers is mainly mold and mildew.
Okay, Killer Biotic. So there's a product called Killer Biotic.
Killer Biotic.
With Killer Biotic, from experience with working with clients, we have been able to overcome some things that have to do and specifically related to mold within the lungs.
Oh, okay. All right. I think that pretty much covers everything. Now was that 3 months or was it 4 months on the protocol to cure or regenerate the macula?
That all has to do with your digestive system. How well are you actually absorbing the nutrition?
Okay. But generally speaking, it was 3 months.
Dr. Wallach always says, give me 90 days.
90 days. Okay.
But again, it all determines on what your digestive system is.
Yes. Well, I absolutely do not like that the 90 essential things that are in the powder, the tangy tangerine stuff. Oh, that's just god awful. I can't stand.
Add more water. Okay, let's talk about Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Okay, if you take 2 scoops of Beyond Tangy Tangerine and you mix it in 8 ounces of water, it's going to be thick, it's going to be sweet, and it's going to be a little bit tangy. A lot of us can't take that taste. Okay,
Right.
So let's go ahead. Let's do 1 scoop in 16 ounces. Have it in the morning. 1 scoop in 16 ounces. Have it at lunchtime.
Okay.
So for those of you that are taking more than 1 dose per day, then, do 2 scoops and 20 ounces in the morning, 2 scoops and 20 ounces or more in the afternoon. I have a 24-ounce cup that I use.
Okay.
I mix it up. I'll put my 2 scoops in there. I'll drink it down partway and then I'll top it off.
Fill it up again.
Or water. But the fact that I'm getting my 90 essential nutrients, that's what's important.
That's what's important. I switched to the 2.0 tablets, but the lady informed me, well, I'm not getting the minerals.
Right. Yeah, they're not the same. So you're not getting as many minerals with that, especially if you have a compromised digestive system. We use binding ingredients that break down easily. But even if you have a digestive system that's a little bit compromised, it takes time to get through that.
Oh, I understand.
And absorption starts
I know.
at the beginning of the digestive system.
Just turned 67, so 60 years of eating bad stuff is not going to cure overnight. I realize that.
Right. So there's another option. We have a concentrate called Ultimate Tangy Tangerine. Okay. At 200 pounds, you'd be taking 2 ounces per day. That would be 4 tablespoons. And that's another option. So just take it like a shot, or you could mix it in with water, whatever works best for you.
Excuse me. She said order the original flavor to see if I could take that.
Okay, so the original
But I'll still put more
flavors,
water.
yeah, still add more water. The original doesn't have the pre and probiotics in it.
Oh,
That
that
2.0
okay.
does. So
Huh.
you want to make sure that you're getting
Okay.
some pre and probiotics.
Okay.
Microbiome. Okay, Longevity has a product called Microbiome that has your pre and probiotics and your postbiotics. It also has enzymes, and these are enzymes that are specific for helping the body break down fats and carbohydrates and
Okay.
and sugars, lactose, dairy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we've cut out dairy pretty much.
Okay. Well, and this microbiome is just amazing. So you would take it on an empty stomach. I do 1 scoop mixed with 10 to 12 ounces of water. I drink it first thing in the morning. I mean, the first thing I put in my mouth is a glass of this. It's refreshing. It's a little sweet without being too sweet. It's a blueberry flavor.
Okay.
And I just absolutely love it. I don't want to eat anything for 2 hours after having that. So for anybody that wants to just make sure they're getting what they need in their digestive system to help get that flora set, the microbiome is a nice, easy fix to add to your daily intake.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a message here, and again, we want you to work with the person who shared this daily show with you. Okay, if it's through an email, go ahead and respond to that email. If you are working with a distributor, get in contact with your distributor. They're there for you. Okay, your well-being and making sure you get what you need is important to them, and we really want you to reach out to them and keep that relationship and bond with them. Okay.
Oh, man.
And if you don't have anybody, you can go to askdoclive.com and, do contact us, and you'll get in contact with somebody that can help you. All right. So, or the call team, 855-949-radio. Yes, 855-949-radio. So somebody is asking again about ringing in the ears. What products? Okay. So with ringing in the ears, Dr. Wallach says that's because you've got pinching of the nerves as they're coming out of the spinal cord. Now, that pinching can go anywhere because the vagus nerve is one of the most complex nerves of the whole entire body. I mean, that vagus nerve runs throughout the body from head to abdomen, okay, and all the organs and everything in between. So when that's getting pinched, it's going to affect different people in different ways depending on how it's being pinched, where it's being pinched. So we want to make sure that you're getting the 90 essential nutrients, okay, that Dr. Wallach always recommends. That's 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 to 3 essential fatty acids. Okay, those are your omegas. You want to make sure that you're getting that every day. It's like putting gas in a car. You know, as we're using our car and we're running low on gas, we're running low on nutrition, especially for those of us that are go, those that are athletic. You've heard Dr. Wallach say exercise without supplementation is suicide. We don't want to go there. We don't want to deplete our bodies of minerals because that sweat that we're sweating out, it's not just water. It's a slurry of minerals that our body needs, and we need to make sure that we're continually replenishing that. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine is one of the best products to do that. But we also have a product called Rebound. Rebound has 77 different minerals in it that helps to keep the minerals within the body strong. And for those of you who have followed basketball at all, we have Theo Ratliff, which is one of our, I think he's called a brand ambassador who started with the rebound. And even after crushing bones and they told him his season was over, Dr. Wallach got him on a protocol, got him on this rebound, and he was able to play even longer. So, and he's doing amazing. I've seen him every year for the last 3 years at convention. It's like super tall, but just the friendliest guy ever, and still plays basketball with the kids whenever we have breakouts. So it's really cool to see that. Let's see. Yeah, you can mix the microbiome with a lot of different things. I have some people that love to mix it with unflavored yogurt, and then they make themselves a nice, strong pre, pro, post enzyme rich yogurt. But you do want to not use it with anything hot, nothing warm, because those enzymes in there are heat sensitive. We don't want to do anything that's going to lessen the effect of the enzymes. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I was on tinnitus. You want to make sure that you've got the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart pack. Okay. That's the most support that we offer for all of the soft tissue, including the nerves. You also want to do the glucogel, the ultimate glucogel capsules, and the MSM Ultra. So the glucogel capsules, you're going to be doing, it works out to be 1 capsule per 10 pounds, so up to 150. So if you are 150 pounds or more, you want to make sure that you're getting at least 15 per day. That's 5, 3 times a day. The glucogel is very supportive of the discs between our vertebrae, our joints, the cartilage. And then MSM Ultra, which helps to reduce inflammation and then gives extra support for the joints. What else? And then the CM cream. So the CM cream can actually be, you take a Q-tip, put some on the Q-tip, and don't go deep into the ear, but you can go around just the inside of the canal, and then also on this bone, the mastoid bone behind your ear. And that helps to relieve some of that ringing as well. So if you do have questions, and I just wanted to reiterate, Dr. Wallach had problems getting on with us today with the audio. We could see him, he couldn't hear us, we couldn't hear him. And Jonty and I decided that we would still come on today and allow people to ask questions because we want to make sure that you have the information you need. We want to be a resource, okay? And that we are a resource to the community. So we want to make sure that all of you are getting information that is going to be beneficial for improving the lives of yourself and those you love. And you can raise your hand and ask a question. In fact, we got Mr. Jefferson just raised his hand. Mr. Jefferson, go ahead and accept my request.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And
wonderful.
Thanks for having this. I'm calling about my daughter. She's been suffering with acid reflux for about 10 years. She's about 5'6" and about 150 pounds, 31 years old. What do you recommend?
Well, we want to make sure that she's using a full mineral salt.
Mineral salt? Okay.
Make sure that she's doing that. And then also depending on whether or not she has a gallbladder, that's going to make effect.
She does. Okay.
Okay, so that's good. But most of the time, acid reflux is not having the right balance of acid, and it's not too much acid. It's not enough acid in the digestive system. Okay.
Okay.
So the food is not getting broken down the way it's supposed to be broken down. It's sitting in the stomach and it's rotting. That causes things to come up with acid reflux, and they're not moving through the system. The acid reflux For some people, it creates a sluggish digestive system, so things aren't moving through the digestive system as they can or they should be. And again, it's causing things to just ferment and rot, and then that can create that acid reflux type experience. So what we would recommend would be the Healthy Body Digestive Pack and microbiome. Microbiome is becoming one of my favorite. I mean, it has been so helpful with so many different people when it comes to having things like acid reflux, bloating, gas. It's been very helpful with that.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You are very, very welcome. Very welcome. All right, let me go ahead and Jonty, I think you're back on with us.
Hi, yes, Rebecca, I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so Betsy brings up a good point. Dr. Wallach has so many different publications, and one of his newest books is in regards to osteoporosis in the skull, and that book's called It's All in Your Head. And you can find Dr. Wallach's publications at Drj Wallach, that's WALLACH.com. You will find almost all of his publications, whether that be in book form, pamphlet form, CD form, DVD. He has a whole array of publications there that are available to you as a resource that you can purchase. And then if you have specific questions or trying to find something specific, he does have some staff there that answers the phone that is listed on his website. Okay. Let me go through here. All right, good foods, bad foods list. You can find the good foods, bad foods list if you go to AskDocLive.com. And there, Jonty, you want to tell them exactly where they can find that good foods, bad foods list at AskDoc.com, please.
Well, you know, last time we were on, Rebecca, you said if you want the good foods, bad foods list, go to AskDocLive.com and you'll find it. And I kind of smiled because that was a very new website and I didn't have everything kind of clearly set up. So yesterday I got it set up so that it's going to be fairly obvious. The thing to do is to just go there and sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll get the Ask Doc Live. You'll get the 10 Bad Foods email delivered to your inbox promptly.
And I noticed, because I went there this morning, that it comes up as a pop-up. So it makes it super easy to find that good foods, bad foods list. You just put in your name, your email, and it gets sent right to your email. So I didn't realize that wasn't there before, but I'm glad it's there now. Makes it super easy. Oh, so Betsy says that the tangy tangerine, and I've actually done this with my son, kind of, sorta, makes a great slushy if you mix it with ice and a splash of your favorite juice. So for my son, I'll mix it up, and I'd use the extra water for him. He's very picky. And I'll put it into those popsicle containers, like a specific plastic company used to have, or you just put the juice in, put the little stick in, freeze it, and he'll take it that way, no problem. So that's another way to help get your younger generation getting the 90 essential nutrients that is needed. Let's see, as I'm going through here. And again, if you want to raise your hand, go ahead and go to that participants list, click on that, and you should be able, and I think on your end, you might have an option at the bottom to raise your hand. And one thing we want to realize is circulation within the body is so important. Okay, if we've got sluggish blood, then all of the nutrients that we have running through our veins that we want to get to all the different parts of our body, it's slower to get there. So we want to make sure that we have good, healthy bones or blood, because, and this is the reason why I said bones, is our blood is manufactured. Our white and red blood cells are manufactured in the bone marrow. So if we don't have good, solid, healthy bones, which the OsteoFX is amazing at helping with that, then we're not going to have good, strong, clean blood, healthy blood. And again, our food choices, the bottled oils, that's going to affect our blood. The gluten, that's going to affect our blood, because we're not getting that absorption that our body needs when we do have the good foods going into our body and the good nutrition going into our body. From personal experience, I was at blood transfusion levels because my iron was so low. For 30 years, I tried to give blood and I was always rejected. And then 1 year after being on the 90 essential nutrients, I decided, okay, I've been taking this great nutrition. I'm feeling better than I have ever in my whole entire life. One of my friends, actually the mayor of our town here, said, hey, Becca, you want to give blood? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Okay. So I figured, let's just see how things are looking. They asked me to sit for a double setting of full blood donation because my iron levels were so good and my blood was so healthy. And I had a universal blood type.
Now, Rebecca, was that because your absorption had increased so much better, or was it because you were just getting more iron in your system?
Well, it wasn't so much the iron that I was getting, because I wasn't adding any extra iron, Jonty. One, my digestive system had improved, and two, I was actually putting into my body the nutrients that it needed in order to become healthy. So I was no longer bedridden. I was no longer suffering with migraines. I could roll myself out of bed without being in excruciating pain. And I was able to go up and down stairs without the fear of falling either way. So just getting that nutrition, and that was the only thing that I did different, was adding in Dr. Wallach's protocol. Just my body overall responded so well to it, and including the health of my blood.
Well, I know that as long as I've known you, you've kept getting younger. I'm not really sure how you do that. It looks like we got 2 hands raised.
We do. Yeah, I look at pictures, you know, when you and I first met, and then more recent, and it's like, I like the fact I look younger than you, because I am older than you. All right, so Verna, go ahead and accept my invitation to unmute yourself, and please share your question.
I'm unmuted. Thank you.
Yes, you are, Verna.
Being here, taking over for Doc today.
Not taking over. Nobody can take over for Doc.
All right, I wanted to ask, I'm running into a lot of sitting in, just sitting in, and you're doing a great job. Thank you. I wanted to ask, I'm running into a lot of people who are doing plant-based diets. And so I'm asking, well, what are you doing for protein? Have any suggestion aside from, you know, our Healthy Start Pack, of course, is what I'm recommending. Is there anything else you might be able to suggest for them to use aside from, you know, our Healthy Start Pack product?
Yeah, so we have this new shake, and I got it in earlier this week, that is a plant-based protein shake. And it has amino acids in it. Of course, you know, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 has those amino acids that are needed. And amino acids are proteins. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if everybody knows that, but amino acids are specific proteins that the body needs. But this brand new shake mix, it's through our Stay Natural line, and it is a plant-based shake, vanilla, and it is yummy.
Oh, good.
It's one of the better plant-based protein shakes that I've tasted.
Okay, so that's something also. if you don't eat a lot of meat, like I'm the person that eats fish and chicken, and turkey. I don't eat, the red meat, but I guess that could be a good substitute also for myself to get a little more protein in my diet.
Yeah, that would be one way to get some more protein in your diet. Now, you also want to make sure that you're looking at getting additional amino acids. And we have a product that's called Hgh Youth Complex. And I have been taking that because, I'm down 95 pounds since starting with longevity. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping my muscle mass and not losing that, and that what I am losing is, just the extra fat. But I've added this Hgh Youth Complex to my diet every evening. I take 6 before bedtime. And I have found that with my workouts, I'm not having the muscle fatigue that I was having before. I do a lot of stairs and skipping steps, and my muscles don't feel weak afterwards like they were before since I started doing this. So again, it's H.G.H Youth Complex. Now, please know, this is not human growth hormone. These are nutrients that help our body in supporting it to be able to make its own. Okay? It's not a natural HGH replacement. We're supporting our body's natural function to be able to do this.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You
Appreciate
are welcome. Welcome. Okay, so there's a comment in the question, 150-pound lady, 70 years old, experiencing constipation on their first month with the Healthy Body Start Pack, and she takes antacids for reflux. She needs to make sure that she's getting plenty of liquid every day. So at 150 pounds, we want to aim to have 1 ounce per, or a half an ounce per pound. Okay, so at 150 pounds, we'd be looking at 75 ounces of clear fluids per day. Ideally, that's going to be water with minerals in it. Okay, splash of minerals in our water that helps give us minerals throughout the day to help support the body. A lot of times constipation can be caused by, dehydration, but then diarrhea can also be caused by dehydration, but making sure she's getting that. Something else that can be done is taking an extra dose of the OsteoFX. The magnesium that's in the OsteoFX gives a sensation of relaxation. So as everything is moving through our intestines, having that relaxation of the intestines helps to move things through. So that's something that I've found with some of my clients to be very helpful with that. And then adding nightly essence. So nightly essence, 2 before bedtime, has been something that pharmacist Ben and Dr. Wallach both recommend to help restore that digestive flora. And sometimes the constipation is because of the digestive flora not being right, not absorbing out of the food or what we're putting in our body, the nutrients that it needs, and things not getting broken down properly.
Rebecca, would something like BioCal help with that as well?
So I know there are people that take BioCal, yes, and BioCal has some of the same effect. So for those who, so I myself, I like the liquid OsteoFX. I know in our healthy body packs, most of them come with the powder. Why don't you share what you like best about the BioCal?
Oh, I just like the simplicity of it. I'm getting my calcium and magnesium just by, just by swallowing a pill. It's a real easy way to get the BioCal. It certainly does keep things moving, if you know what I mean, as well. which is, just that's part of what magnesium does. A lot of folks ask about water. You were talking about water just a minute ago. This is just something I've experienced in my own life, is that water is something to be aware of. I did an experiment with a friend many years ago where we got water from about 5 different sources, different tap water from different places, distilled water, filtered water through a Brita filter. And then we made about 5 different batches of exactly the same coffee. And we poured the coffee into a bunch of cups, and we did like a blind test where one of us didn't know what was in which cup. And we tasted the coffee, and one of the coffees tasted absolutely fantastic. All the rest of them were pretty darn close to awful. One of them was mediocre. And it was the distilled water coffee that tasted great. The tap water coffees, the difference between them was, the tap water coffee was sour and acrid and just awful. So it kind of gave me this sort of sense there's something going on here. Now, I had some good friends who tried to have a kid for about 10 years. They were just trying, and they were getting sort of sad and depressed. And I came over to their house one day and I said, you drink tap water? And they said, well, yeah, we drink tap water. What's wrong with that? And I said, and you're trying to have a kid? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, you guys should really look into maybe not drinking the tap water. They moved about 6 months later to a new house, and that new house had a built-in water filter. And they were celebrating their pregnancy about 2 months later. Now, maybe it wasn't the tap water, but I had a pretty strong intuition that it was. So I do recommend getting some distilled water or filtered water if you can. It makes a heck of a lot of difference to the taste of the stuff, if nothing else. And the degree to which we have toxicity that's just at a base level in our society, in our industrialized society these days, is something to be aware of. Also, when you're trying to dissolve something like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, if you're trying to dissolve it in water that's full of a bunch of gunk, you're going to have a harder time dissolving it. It's also not going to taste quite as good. If you're trying to dissolve something in water that's already had the majority of the solubles removed from it, then you're going to have a lot easier time dissolving things in it. Now, people are concerned often about removing minerals from their body by drinking distilled water. If you're drinking water that is, you know how if you take a long bath, your skin starts to dissolve because water's always dissolving whatever's in it. It is a good idea to mix something. What I drink, Rebecca, all day long is a large jar of filtered water with a little bit of lemon juice in it, which the lemon juice has all kinds of electrical effects and some nutrition as well. Of course, that on top of Rebound and Beyond Tangy Tangerine, etc. Mm-hmm. So do be aware of the water that you're putting in your body. It's something that I've seen in my own life make a big difference in the lives of others as well.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you what your cloudy water was that you were always drinking. Now I know.
Yeah, I just get a big jar of organic lemon juice from the store and just spritz a little bit in every jar.
And that's something, a lot of people just don't have a taste for water, and doing something as simple as that, doing a splash of lemon, a splash of lime, cutting up some cucumbers that are organic, and realize organic does not mean healthy, it just means less toxins. And having that infused into your water really helps to change the taste and make it more enjoyable for those who don't enjoy drinking water. Now, Jonty mentioned coffee. There's a lot of coffee options out there, and there's a lot of chemicals that are used in the manufacturing process of coffee. I watched a documentary on it the other day and couldn't believe how many different chemicals are used on the plants themselves and then through the process. So if anybody is looking to try a good organic coffee, I'm not a coffee drinker, but my husband loves the Longevity Be the Change coffee. And there's different flavors, different roasts. He likes the dark, but there's medium roast, there's flavors. There's even a diet one. And I'm thinking, Okay. I still don't want to drink coffee, but hey, there's something for everybody, right? All right. So somebody is bringing up here in regards to constant diarrhea, and if you could take the microbiome with that. And it's diarrhea due to medication. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Not knowing what medication it is, and of course not being a doctor myself, what I can recommend is doing like the flora restoration and just doing a reset on your digestive system. And again, depending on what that pharmaceutical is that you're taking would determine how well that would be effective for you as also. So we have our hand up, and Johanna, go ahead. And I just sent you a request to unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the one that sent that in, Becca.
As I was unmuting you, I saw the name. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know if I'd get a chance to ask the question. The medication, I have a diagnosis of multiple myeloma.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it starts in the plasma cells. So the medication, there's a lot of things they do now. Usually it would be just chemo. You know, you have to go into the center and get hooked up, but now they have pills. So it's a chemo pill. It's called Revlimid.
Okay.
And it's been around a while, but I don't know. I ordered the microbiome, and I just wondered, because you can't ask the doctor if they don't. My doctor, they don't believe in any supplements. So I just, you know, that's a question that's been bothering me, because there's tons of side effects with these medications, but that's the one that I have, the diarrhea. So
yeah,
and it's, you know, it's not always like diarrhea that you know, but you know, loose stools, or you have to get to a bathroom quick or something. So I you know, I don't know if anybody knows, but that's something that, you know, I'd like to know a little bit.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you right off the top of my head. That would be something I definitely want to check with my resources, other doctors that are within the company, and Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
So I will make an effort to get some information on that for you.
Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely. You are very welcome. Very welcome.
All right.
All right. So somebody is asking, are root canals safe? I have never had a root canal, thankfully. So I can't answer that. And then of course, as medical professionals, we can't say if something is or isn't safe either. That's something that you need to do your own research on, come to your own conclusions. As far as alternatives, I know when they do a root canal, they drill everything out, kill the nerve, put a cap on, you know, make it look pretty. So yeah, there's things that are available in the dental world that I'm not familiar with, because fortunately I've been very blessed and not have to go there. Yeah, and the recommendation, if you're following all of, this is for somebody else, if you're following all of Dr. Wallach's normal recommendations of getting off the bad foods, making sure you're absorbing your 90, then look for low. I'm not sure that I understand that, Betsy. But, you know, wanting to make sure that you are getting circulation. We do have the Good Herbs circulation support, which is amazing, and the heart support. Oh, and I started to mention before, somebody had mentioned asthma. So if the asthma has anything to do with allergies, and I know I myself experienced seasonal asthma, and it was triggered by allergies. In the Good Herbs line, there is a sinus and allergy support that I wish I had back then, because I've tried it now. And since being on Hgh product, my first season using that, just half a teaspoon twice a day. It is a tincture. So as an herbalist, I was very, very familiar with tinctures. We're taking these herbs, we're extracting their constitutes out into a solution, and then being able to take those constitutes that the body then is able to respond to and utilize. But since that first season, I haven't had any allergy issues. Now, I know also that the immune system is very closely related to our allergy responses. So if you've got a poor immune system, or let's do it this way. So if you're suffering with lots of allergies, food sensitivities, seasonal allergies, let's look at the digestive system. Because 70 to 80% of our immune system, which includes our allergy response, is in the immune system. Doing a reset of that, I have found with many of my clients, they no longer have the food sensitivities that they did before, and their allergies are almost nothing. So doing a reset on the digestive system, using that Good Herbs tincture called Allergy and Sinus Support, or Sinus and Allergy Support, is something to think about. Now we have Bruce with his hand up. Bruce, I just sent you a request to unmute yourself. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hello, Rebecca again. You were talking about the HGH, and did you mention that helps muscle loss too?
So the HGH has a whole mix of proteins, and those proteins are very important for maintaining muscle mass.
Okay. Yeah, I just missed that part. Wasn't sure that you said that. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're doing a great job too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can get through a few more of these questions here. I mean, there's only 65 I haven't seen yet. All right, so thank you, Verna, for that input. She did 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and 20 ounces of water, and it tastes just right. Thanks for the recommendation. Any information on reverse osmosis water? So that's something, I was raised on reverse osmosis water, and I hated the flavor of it, personally. We have one in our system, in our home now that my husband disconnected. We're on well water. I love our well water. For those of you who have well water that's from a good source, good well, you are very blessed to not have to be on city water. So I don't have an actual response for that, Verna, as far as the reverse osmosis water.
I see Nasima mentioned that Doc's not a big fan of distilled water. I think Ben Fuchs is all right with it. It's just as long as you're mixing it with something. If you're just drinking straight distilled water, then you would be just removing an awful lot of minerals from your body.
I've heard that too. So when you mention the distilled water, I'm thinking, okay, that's leaching minerals out of my bones. I think I'll stick with the purified or filtered, but yeah, there's definitely different opinions on the use of distilled water. And I actually just pulled up Nasima's comment. So just as you said that.
I do think we universally agree that tap water is a heck of a roll of the dice.
Yeah, especially in larger populated areas. I know when I lived in Phoenix and we were on the city water there, it was so heavily chlorinated. I had a hard time drinking it. All right, so what else? So Betsy mentions organic apple cider vinegar is a good way to boost the stomach acid if you don't have the enzymes or ox bile. So especially for people who don't have a gallbladder, you're missing an important piece to the digestive breakdown of the food, and that has to do with that bile. Longevity has a product called Ultimate Enzymes, or Digestive Enzymes, and we call it gallbladder in a bottle. And for those who have had the misfortune of having to have their gallbladder removed, we highly recommend getting that enzymes so that you're getting the ox bile and the other enzymes that help break down the food so that you can actually get absorption of those, or having those minerals and vitamins bioavailable for absorption. So, but yeah, apple cider vinegar is another way to help boost or increase the stomach acid to help with that acid reflux. Okay. It says I have 71, but I'm not able to scroll down 71 more messages. Oh, maybe I'm at the end. So, all right, any other questions? I mean, we have gone 2 hours now. No, well, it's been more than 2 hours for Jonty and I, and about an hour and a half for everybody else. So we want to make sure that, if there is anything that you might have questions on that doesn't require Doc Wallach to give, his full recommendation, we are here to be a resource for you and to help the community as a whole. And that's, we're empowered to take control of our own health. Not everybody is going to have our best interest in mind. And who's better than to take control of ourselves than ourselves? Okay, we're able to listen to our bodies. Something's going on and we're paying attention, it's going to tell us. And that's something where we can reach out and be a resource to you as well. We can't give medical advice. We can't diagnose. All of this information is provided to you as informational only, but we have a lot of good information to share. So, and more than willing to do so. Jonty?
There was a study once on who sort of survived the longest within the medical system, within the allopathic medical system, and they found that it was people who advocated for their own health. The folks who took the advice of the doctors would statistically just not last as long. Using that as a bit of sort of a foundation for what we're doing, we're sort of taking that a step further and looking at the holistic system of the body, and just using common sense with regards to things like if your body needs something to heal, if it needs something to make a part of your eye or a part of your ear or a part of your whatever it is, part of you to build your bones, you're going to actually need the nutrients that body part is composed of in order to heal. So if your digestive system isn't working, then your body's not going to get those nutrients. If you're not putting those nutrients in, if you're eating a pepperoni pizza every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then it's not too difficult to plot a course for your future health. Doc has got an incredible. It's really if you were to add up the number of lives dramatically changed and prolonged as a result of somebody's life work, I think he's in the Pulitzer Prize realm, in my opinion. He's taken his experience looking at why animals got sick and also why humans got sick, why humans and animals die, and he's kind of cracked the code. At least he bumped humanity decades forward in that regard. And just to follow his dietary recommendations will make a tremendous difference in anyone's life. One of the things, Rebecca, that I notice, because I break the rules sometimes. I'll go and I have a soft spot for salami. If I go and I eat some salami or a bunch of salami, I can go and sit down at my desk, and within an hour, all my joints in my hands are stiff and sore. There's a very quick inflammation response there. One of the things that that we don't really learn to do as well as we should is to see the effects that things that we eat have on us physically. People talk about keeping a food diary. Certainly that's a fantastic idea. You can even just be aware that maybe you think, yeah, I'm feeling kind of achy, or I'm feeling grumpy, or my energy just went choom, and just think about what you ate an hour before, and do a little mental comparison. It's quite fascinating to see all of these various relationships with regards to food and how we feel. It's often an instant thing, or something that we can experience within a couple of hours.
I have a confession. So I made some gluten-free brownies last night, and boy, were they tasty. But after being on keto for so long and having that sugar, oh my goodness, I woke up during the night thinking, why do I ache? And with you bringing that up, I know. It was that sugar.
I'm
So
always real strange at birthday parties. They say, you want a slice of cake? And I say, ooh, no. I mean, having not eaten that sort of sugar for so long, you don't crave it anymore.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not
and if you do have cravings still, and you're on the 90 essential nutrients, you need to get a bottle of plant-derived minerals. Adding an extra ounce, 2 ounces of minerals throughout your day can really make a world of difference when it comes to trying to fight those cravings.
You know what I do crave, Rebecca, is things that are pickled.
Oh, now there's nothing wrong with that, though.
Ben Fuchs and I have talked about this a couple times, about how there's a variety of benefits, certainly to fermented food with regards to the gut biome, etc. But also pickled food can be just a great way to get a variety of nutrients and intense flavors. Now, I said in a video with Ben, I don't know, a year ago probably now, would anybody like my recipe for pickled garlic? And I ended up getting a bunch of emails, and it took me so long, but I finally actually did make another batch and videoed it. So I'm hoping to get that edited together and out in the next couple of weeks. So if you all want to keep an eye on your inbox, if you want to learn how to make pickled garlic, I'll show everybody. I can't get enough of the darn stuff. Pickled garlic and pickles.
I remember the response to that, and I'm like, okay, John T, what's your recipe? Everybody wants to know.
Well, that's the thing, is it's just so darn easy. There really is no recipe. It's just if you put anything in the white distilled vinegar, it'll pickle. The only question is how much white distilled vinegar, how much other vinegars, what other seasonings, and all of that stuff is really kind of up to the individual,
True. Now, we got pickled, and then we also have the fermented stuff.
Yeah.
I like making my own sauerkraut and having my own fermented vegetables.
So what does your daily diet look like, Rebecca? I'll share mine if you share yours.
Now, see, that's not my
daily
first diet is okay. Yeah, you go first, and then because I don't. Go ahead.
Breakfast. I have a whole bunch of nutritional supplements in the morning, often with either a glass of water or some tea, and then no breakfast. I don't break my fast until usually around noon, at which time I'll go and I'll make something it's usually 2 eggs and on top of some sauerkraut and then a variety of pickled things from the fridge, like a pickle and some pickled garlic and some olives, pickled asparagus is wonderful stuff. What's strange is I think for a lot of folks, they'd think, oh, dear God, this is what you eat. But after you've been off of sugar for so long and you sort of get used to this stuff, it's absolutely delicious to me. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yours sounds much better than mine.
Mm. Yeah, dinner will sometimes have some meat or something like that. But anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So being on the keto diet, and I've eliminated all breads and all sugars and anything that is starchy from my diet. I wake up, I have my electrofuel because I don't do coffee. We have a product called electrofuel, which is tasty, and I don't do juice, so that kind of gives me that early in the morning boost with vitamins, a little bit of caffeine. There's some green tea in there. I think there's yerba mate tea as well, if I remember right. And then I don't have anything until about 11 o'clock. And I will have a chai tea with a splash of heavy cream in there and our collagen peptides. So I'll have that about 11 o'clock. I finally, because I'm doing intermittent fasting as well. And I'll tell you what, I have to make myself eat most of the time because I'm just not hungry. At 11 o'clock with my chai tea, I'm taking my supplementation, taking my tangy tangerine, my OsteoFX, my essential fatty acids, because I have that heavy cream in my chai tea that gives that extra good fats that the essential fatty acids need because it's a fat soluble vitamin. And I'm still taking glucogel. I'm on a maintenance dose of glucogel, which I'm doing 4 twice a day. At that time I take 2 MSM, and our Stay Balanced for women's hormone, because I'm getting to that age that yeah, I'm older than I look, but I'm just as sweet as ever, as long as you don't take away my feel good pills, and it's all nutrition. So, and then so lunch, dinner time, somewhere in between there. I love a steak. Ribeye is my favorite. And so I'll have about 4 ounces of steak. I'll have a salad with some blue cheese crumbles on it, and that's my meal. And then I'll have either if I do get hungry, I'll have one of our keto shakes and the strawberry or chocolate. And then about 6 o'clock, I will have the keto hot chocolate with a splash of heavy cream as well, and I'm good. I mean, people say that a good supplementation plan is expensive. Our food bill, family of 3, I spend more on them than I do for myself.
Right. That's the thing. I think folks tend to think about nutrition as medicine, and they should really think about it more in the category of food, because it's part of your diet. You're making sure that you've fleshed out the dietary concerns so that you don't ever need the medicines.
Yeah, that's it. I have no more pharmaceuticals. My mother, who lives here with us, is no longer on any pharmaceuticals. She was on 12. And I just couldn't believe it when I first 4 years ago, when I looked at what she was taking. And she was taking this for this, but then she had to take this to prevent any ill effect from this. And it just was, it was a mess. And she also she was looking at that blood transfusion because she was so anemic. We got her on the supplementation. Her doctor took her off all of her medications because she no longer needed them. And this was all done within 6 to 9 months, which was pretty incredible. The doctor didn't want to hear, and Mom took in a whole list of everything she was doing. She had everything printed out nice and neat in plastic sleeves, because at the time I was still using my herbalism with her, and then we incorporated in there longevity supplementation. And it was really sad that I was able to help her at that time, but I still hadn't gotten myself figured out prior to longevity. And I had, as a community herbalist, I had helped several people, but I still wasn't able to figure myself out. And that's where Dr. Wallach's protocols changed my life for the good. And I appreciate appreciate everything. And yes, I feel like I am growing younger with every year. So close to that half a century mark, months from that half a century mark. Now, Donna mentioned xylitol as being a sweetener recommended for diabetics. Xylitol is amazing if it's coming from the right source. So xylitol can either be taken from birch, the bark of a birch tree, or corn. You want to make sure that you're getting the xylitol from the birch. Too much of our corn is GMO'd. Or if you can find xylitol and it specifically says from non-GMO corn, great. But it's naturally sweet. It's a fiber, and it helps to go through and kind of reduce the whole carb load within the body. But Jonty, did you know we have a dentist that's one of our team members who has formulated gum using xylitol as a sweetener. And she says that one, it helps feed the digestive system because of the fiber, but it also helps to strengthen the teeth and keep that balance with the bacterial balance within our mouths balanced. So
interesting.
I love it. It's my favorite gum ever.
Well, you know what GMO means to me, and what I believe it usually does mean with regards to the makeup of any kind of ingredient. It means glyphosate. It means Roundup. The reason why it's genetically modified is so that you can dump tons and tons of Roundup in it. Now, this wouldn't be the case necessarily with corn, but with wheat, if you need any convincing to get off of wheat, one of the strategies that farmers use to streamline their harvesting process is they do something called desiccation, which is that what they really want, they don't want to have a natural end of the harvest where all of the wheat sort of dries out and gets ready for harvest time at its own pace, because then you don't end up with a very even harvest. You have some stuff that's not quite ready and some stuff that's a little bit too ready. So what they do is, and it's actually not, this is where the rules of how much Roundup you're allowed to use get broken. They go and they put a huge extra heavy dose of Roundup on the field right before harvest. And you'll find there's documentaries talking about how I mean, I don't want to libel myself here, but you can go look this up. It's suggested that some of the folks who actually sell Roundup will tell farmers to do this, even though it goes way beyond what they're allowed to put on the wheat. So right before harvest, a GMO wheat farmer is dumping an extra double, not FDA approved dose of glyphosate on the wheat to get it to all ripen at exactly the same time to make for a nice clean harvest and improve their bottom line. So when I see a box of Ritz crackers or Wheaties or you name it, what I see is this field just getting an extra heavy dose of glyphosate right before harvest time. So that's what I see when it says GMO to me.
And I can visualize that as I am surrounded by wheat fields. And, you know, having the crop dusters fly over, and I want to, it's like, okay, take a smell. Okay, what are they spraying today? I'm like, oh, shut the windows. But one thing that I appreciated when I was in Arizona, because I was surrounded by farms down there, and cotton, you always knew which farmers were more of the organic cotton, because what they were spraying was salt water for their defoliate, which was pretty cool. But no, I totally, you know, what you say was, you know, expediting the process so that everything is getting to the harvest stage at the same time, I witness it every season. Every season.
Well, Rebecca, I see we're a little bit past the top of the hour. We still have quite a few folks with us. I wonder how many of these folks are either distributors already or interested in the business opportunity.
That's a great question, because I know some of them on are some of my friends and business partners around the world. So that's a really good question. Should we have them comment, guest, customer, or distributor in the comments?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I have a thought that I've been wanting to share about how the business can work. A lot of people, when you talk about, as soon as you bring up the word network marketing, they have a very negative thing comes to mind. They imagine somebody who's kind of hounding them and saying, do you want to sign up now? Do you want to sign up now? How about now? One of the things that I've come to realize now, a lot of folks in the network marketing world, they talk about creating a replicatable system. And so what they say you should do is that you should figure out how to make it work for you, and then you teach it to somebody else, and then they go and do exactly what you're doing. I have a slightly different experience with it, which I think is novel, and I think it's a little bit more humane, which is to say that not everybody has the same skill set. And that to really set up a successful network marketing business, you don't want to go and clone yourself a whole bunch of times. Maybe that works for some people, but certainly not for me. What does work for me is to meet people and find that they have certain skills. Like you, for instance, are incredible with coming to know and understand all of these various products and help people with all of the various life challenges that they're experiencing. But it's nice to have somebody around who can do a little bit of online marketing. It's nice to have some folks who are really good at data entry. It's nice to have some content matter experts who can kind of write things. It's nice to have somebody who can run an ad campaign. It's nice to have somebody who can answer an email. These are all different skill sets. So we have a guy he does spreadsheets for us. You know, there's a variety of different ways to help. And oftentimes somebody doesn't want to join a business where they have to do the entire thing themselves. Rather, you say something like, hey, we have an opening here. We need somebody who does this sort of task for us. And that's that kind of, it makes more sense with regards to how people are used to experiencing business. And there's always a way to compensate folks for their time and energy. You can get very creative with the way that you set up your whatever it is, your upline and downline, the way that you distribute sales.
So it's like all parts of the body. I mean, the hand can't do everything. The toe can't do everything. They're all needed. And I love the fact that that technical stuff, you've got it under control. Most of the time.
Well, ironically,
for today.
the day that we clearly don't have it under control.
But yeah, no. So I like the whole relationship marketing. Okay. But then I also like to have things automated. So it's, you know, trying to find that balance where we're building a relationship with people. Everything is moving along. People are finding us without us having to go, you know, pound on everybody's door. That's awesome.
Well, that's something I really want to focus more on helping people with, Rebecca, is helping them with automating the parts of the business that are really repetitive, that can suck up a bunch of your time. I've coined the term network marketer's paradox because the better job you do at networking, the worse job you do at marketing. If you have a whole bunch of whatever you want to call them, prospects or leads, and you take all the time that you could possibly muster to nurture all of those new customers and train all of those new distributors, you don't have the time to go back and actually find more leads again. So I really want to help people figure out how to automate as much of the repetitive stuff as possible, so that you have the time to have real quality, meaningful interpersonal relationships with people.
And a nice balance with family as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of folks who think that success has to come at the expense of something of the rest of your life, and that if you really want to, I like working with distributors who have a bit of balance in their life, and they want to sort of start slow and build. To me, that's a much safer and saner way to go about it. And the thing to do is to think about getting the ball rolling before you need it, before you get laid off, because then you already have a little trickle of income coming in, and you also have some experience with something that you can grow into a full-time business if you need to. And then you can always get rehired at your old job, and this business never goes away. It actually belongs to you. It becomes an asset that you can will to your children. So it's a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. If anything were to happen to me, I mean, my business still goes on and my family still benefits. So I love that aspect of it, that, everything that I've done over the last 4 years doesn't just go away. And the residual and the compound monthly is amazing. I mean, we're not making any income claims here, but what we put into it, we're getting back. So, and it builds slowly. I mean, like Jonty said, it's not an overnight thing. In fact, I think building slow is less stressful, and not having to depend on it as, the only source of income, and having to have it now.
Yeah.
It's nice to think ahead. Absolutely. Because, Longevity has this rewards program that you're getting points every time you make a purchase. And those points can be used towards future purchases. So on some things, it's like dollar for dollar, you get a point. Some things you get 2 points for $1. And then when you have 1,000 points and you have an order, of $100 or more, you can cash out $100 and just pay the difference in shipping. And that's something that's available for those of you that are customers, and you want to refer your friends. Let us know. We'll help you figure out what your referral link is, and you can refer people and get compensated that way, even if you don't want to build a business. So we are definitely a referral business, whether it be online referrals, face-to-face referrals, doesn't matter. So yeah, Verna loves the rewards program, and she's received over 2,000 points. I've cashed out over $1,000 worth of product through my points this year, and we're halfway. So it's pretty cool. Cool. It's a great company.
I do appreciate Nasima's comment as well. Verna, great to have you with us. Nasima, thanks for joining.
Yes. Love you, Nasima.
Yeah, very much. Well, I don't know, Rebecca. We've been on for, you and I've been in this position for heading for 4 hours now. I really do appreciate everybody's bearing with us. Rebecca, I think you're darn good at this. I think you're good at this.
I love it. So loving something you're good at,
that's why you're good at it.
That's a win-win, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe Nasima had done an extra call once a month, health conversations. Rebecca and Jonty, there you go. Maybe we should have our own radio program.
Sure, I'm open to that possibility. That'd be fun. We could live stream it on Zoom as well.
Awesome. So,
well, thanks again, everybody. Please feel free to get in touch with Rebecca and myself personally. If you're interested in ordering products, there's the phone team number, 855-949-RADIO, 855-949-7234. You can go to askdoclive.com if you want to shop around the store. Special thank you to Michael Zwirling for bringing us all together. He has a magical way of getting strange and wonderful individuals to meet, and that's why we're all here.
So am I the strange one and you're the wonderful one?
No, definitely, definitely the reverse of that.
Okay. All right. You know, one thing that I really like, Jonty, and this last comment is from somebody that I have been able to get to know and love. And she writes, to be able to help people is great. This is Dr. Essien, who is a doctor in Nigeria, who is using nutrition and a holistic method with her patients. And I love it. I love it. I mean, you know, when we're working with people and it's not just throwing something at the symptom, it's the whole body. It's holistic, you know, taking everything as a whole. And not to drag this on, but I remember the first time I hosted Pharmacist Ben in lectures, and his lecture was Health was Simple. A cell is a cell. You give the body everything it needs. The cells as a whole are going to give back. And I love that. Absolutely love that. And that's something that I've experienced myself. You know?
If any of you want to find Critical Health News as YouTube channel, or look up the videos, Ben's Moment of Truth videos on the criticalhealthnews.com website. He really has a fantastic perspective on health. He takes complex concepts and makes them accessible to lay people like myself. I've got a lot of love and respect for the guy, for sure. And Rebecca, I mean, how many times have you had a thank you, and you changed my life in your
several a week, several every week. It just makes me feel good about what I'm doing. Makes me know that I'm in the right place. But whenever somebody tells me I'm a blessing, I'm the one that's being blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're going to make me cry.
No, you're going to make me cry. We better wrap this up. You are a blessing.
We love you all. We thank you so much for being here with us today, for hanging out for the 2 hours. It has been at 2 hours now. For those of you who joined right when we were able to let people in. You guys are a blessing. The fact that you take an interest in your own health and taking knowledge in so that you can share it with others and bless others. Let's just continue the blessing and continue spreading the ability to empower, spreading the hope. And we'll see you next week. Again, get with the person who invited you to this call. If you have any questions about product, any questions about what you should be taking. If nobody invited you to the call, respond to the email that you received, and we'll make sure that we get all of your questions addressed. Have a blessed rest of the day. A wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining us at AskDocLive.com. And again, share that website with your friends. They will then be able to receive email reminders, because this meeting room changes every week, and this is for your own protection. There's a lot of bad people in this world. We don't want to go there, but we don't want to let them in either. So keep an eye on your emails for next week's link, and we'll see you then.
We'll
Bye
see
for
you
now.
then. Thanks, everyone.